Dave here, how are you, and welcome to What's in Arthur's Toolbox number 23. Tonight, as I said last week, the double rebate plane, also known in the USA as a duplex rabbit. Now you might want to know what's going on here. I got two pictures here. This is Arthur and his wife Harriet. I can't believe that I got a hold of these. And here's something else. The picture frames are actually pocket holed together. So there you go. These would have been done back in the late 1800s, and they had pocket holes in. They've been around for years. Anyway, I remember I went through this bench. There were pocket holes in this as well. Back to the future. But it's good to have these guys with me. I love it. So the double rebate plane from Stanley, it's a number 78. And when I showed you a picture of it last week, it was a real mess. Now I have taken it apart and I've given it a bit of a cleanup. You can see here, number 78, Stanley. Now I have noticed on other ones that I've seen, the newer ones have a little lever here to adjust the blade and also an up and down. This has none of that. This is a very, very early model. And the other ones that I saw were made in England. This, I don't think this was. I think this one was made in the USA. Now in here it's got patent dot January 30 83, so that would be 1883, not 1983. Patent October 23 83 as well. Now as you can see, I was doing a rebate with it, and that's what it's for. They call it a double rebate or a duplex because you can put the blade on. It has two ramps in the body. I've been reading up. It has a ramp at the front and a ramp at the back. The ramp at the back is its traditional place for the blade. Then if you want to, you can move it to the front. And so it's almost, it's like a little bullnose plane. It won't let you get all the way to a corner. Say I'm doing a picture frame, say this was a picture frame, and I was working into a corner. I would chisel out a little relief area at the end there first before I started planing, and then I'd do most of the work with this, then I'd switch it over to bullnose and just finish that last little bit off. That's why that's there. What else has it got? It has a spur for when I'm going across the grain. Now let me see, what's an indication? If I was doing a half lap joint in a drawer and I was doing, I was planing the rebate across the grain, I would use the spur. Now I've put the spur down at the moment on purpose. The spur is this little guy here. I'll just release this and pull that up. There's the spur there. Now it has three positions. I can have it so all the spurs are up or have the spur pointing down. Now the spurs, this one is sharp. These two have not been touched. So I'm guessing that you have a spare one up your sleeve. You just keep on sharpening. You probably sharpen these holding them with a pair of pliers and rubbing, because there's no way that you'd hold that by your hand to sharpen it up, and they must be kept very sharp. As I say, for cross-cutting, if it was for doing a rebate along the grain, I would have that turned up out of the way. You wouldn't need it. Now, depth stop. This little guy here is the depth stop. There's the depth stop, and you can set it to whatever depth you want. This side here, this is a perfect 90-degree angle so that it is giving me a beautiful rebate. The bottom, I've tidied up a little bit. You can move the fence. This here is the fence, and over on this side I can undo the fence and slide it off. And I can also, at a pinch, they say you can undo this. This is the fence's rail, and put it on the other side here if for any reason you need to. Now why would you need to? Say I want to do a rebate and I'm going against the grain. I'm going to have a horrible tear out on the bottom. So right at the end, I could switch the fence around to the other side, turn the piece of timber around the other way, and then go from the other direction. Much like I did with the 98 and the 99 Stanleys. These guys were so cluey. Of course, I would take this off, and I don't think it could be mounted on the other side. So I would just be finishing off the rebate with that. Let's take this off anyway, because it's good fun pulling this apart. But I was amazed. I was really tickled because I sharpened the thing up and it worked. First time, it just went so beautifully. There you go, that's with that. Now that slot there, that is to accommodate this little piece here. This shoulder here slots into this slot, and that stops the depth stop rocking around at all. Now I've noticed there's a few things. There's a B here, and also on the back of the depth stop there's also a B. I don't know what that's all about. If anyone else knows, by all means, if anyone knows, tell me. Blade. All right, let's undo it from there. There is only one way this blade can go in. It cannot be beveled up. It must be beveled down. That's all there is to it. It's the way the thing is designed. It is a bevel down blade. Now up the top here we've also got something written, Pat.D November 1884. So even the blade is patented. So it's stamped. The other ones that I saw, as I said, the other ones I saw that have an adjustment up and down have got these slots across there, and that's like a rack and pinion gear. It would move the blade up and down to adjust the height. This one, I used a hammer. I wasn't too savage on it though, I was very gentle. Let's put it in the front. Now how do I get it so that it's not chopping in more than what the actual side of the rebate plane is going to allow it? Simple. When I read up on it, the suggestion was you put it on a piece of timber and give it a bit of a tap, and that would straighten the blade up, tighten him, and you know what? They were right. Want to see if it works? Now that means I should be able to just do the end. Now I haven't set the depth properly, so I might tear out. No, how beautiful. Now as I say, that would allow me to go right up to the end. So let's see how far I can go. That much there is where it finishes. So I would have to, and you can see it on this camera as well, I would have to get a chisel and just do a little tap and create a relief there if I couldn't go any further, and then just plane up to it. How much fun is this? This is great. I'm having such a fun time going through all of these. I'm loving it. Anyway, I'll put all the bits and pieces back on it in a minute. I'll promise not to lose any of them. Arthur, I'll look after you. I'll look after your toys. Anyway, same as normal, if you like this show and you think I'm worth a like, do the old thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, you haven't watched it before, by all means, here's a thing up here just to remind you to subscribe. It's not a link. You click the button down the bottom there. That's the subscribe button down there, the red one. And then below that is a description box, and it'll have all sorts of things in there as well, social media and all that kind of stuff. I keep people up to date with what's happening between the shows, and also a little bit of stuff that's happening in my own life here that's not really on the show. So if you want to, you can jump in there. Dave's Build Tips on Facebook. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.